how to walk with God. And so we heard from Samuel what he told Saul when Saul didn't do what the Lord told him to do. He said, obedience is greater than sacrifice. And I did meditate on that even when I was younger. That's why I strive to obey my parents and strive to obey God. Because God gave you good parents for a reason to teach you right from wrong. There's no reason God did say, those who honor their mother and father will have a long life. Those that respect their mother and father will have a long life. Especially if they gave you good parents that took care of you and taught you right from wrong and raised you right. Because that's what God intended for parents to do. They raise you right so that you can understand the fear of God and obey His commandments. And even you have spiritual fathers and spiritual mothers who God has given to teach you and to guide you in the way. But it says obedience is greater than sacrifice. We got to learn how to obey. We got to learn how to obey no matter what we feel, no matter our emotion, or what we think. We got to obey. And we got to obey God and do it quickly, what He says. Like when the Lord gave me the idea of doing these 24 books. And I said, oh, the Lord, but how am I going to do it? The library is closed and I don't have the internet connected. So I went to the store once and they didn't have any plugs. And the Lord said, well, your computer, I rest on it. And the Lord said, your computer it has a battery to it. It can give you enough time to do all the books. And so I went there and I did it. I went, the internet connected to the store internet, and it worked, and I was able to do all these books. And I said, that's a shock to me because one book took me took 12, it took almost, since I was 12 years old, I wanted to do a book. And I didn't do a book till I was 27 years old. And my second book took another 4 to 6 years after that. My third book took another 3 to 4 years. And my fourth book took another 2 years. And to do 24 books in just a day, but the Lord can work miracles. The Lord can do things that you've never seen before if you walk by obedience. And so I got most of those books done today. And He told me the price to sell them for and everything else. He said, Matt, you're a publisher. That's why I made you a publisher. That's why I had you build all those businesses so that you can do my will and build up the church and edify the church. And so I did all the things that the Lord told me to do and offered some of them for free. But it was just to advertise it and to build it up. Because the Lord told me to build up His word. That's why He gave me that publishing company. And I always sing the songs that build up my career, but to sing songs that build up His church. Not only to publish books that build up my career, but to publish books that build up the church. And I found it from this other publisher because I was like, oh, Lord, but they're going to be too expensive. The Lord said, it's okay. It's a test. So I did try it. They said the book was great. The book was outstanding, but they wouldn't lower the price. And they wanted to merge the book. The Lord said, not my will. And the Lord said, now you go publish. And so I published those 24 books today. And I published them in my bookstore. I published them in my publishing company and offered some for free and some for a small price of only $7, like the Lord said. And it's just the Lord, because the Lord spoke to me when I spoke to His minister, and He was saying, impart wisdom. And the Lord wanted you to impart wisdom. And I never knew why the Lord took me through the chains of the church. Well, it was slow at first, and then it speeded up at the end. Then He wanted me to be a founder to it. And I prayed over His minister, and I said that the Lord wants you to impart wisdom. Now the Lord said, I'm going to send that back to you. You impart wisdom. So I'm saying obedience is greater than sacrifice. God's going to use you for things that you never knew that He could do for you. If you walk by obedience, then you'll walk with God.